and welcome back to We Bombastic Few, Season 4, Episode 10, overall Episode 48. I did my homework this time. It's your main host, Brent, and I got two other guys with me. Who's here?
Does that include bonus episodes?
It does include bonus episodes, fun fact.
Wow. What is it
Daniel.
without bonus episodes?
That would be 46 without bonus episodes.
I don't know.
Although it is hazy because technically from last season there's one that I think it says bonus in the title even though it's not officially registered as a bonus under Spotify.
And then
So
there's
there's your Trivial Pursuit for the day.
It
with the
evens out
podcast.
though because there's one episode from this season that normally would have been classified as a bonus, but then we classified it as a normal episode and then just left it.
Oh, maybe that's the one I'm talking about then.
It was the one where it's you and
that
Lindsay,
is the one I'm talking.
and I wasn't there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. That's this season. I'm 9 seasons ahead. I'm already working in the community land of 7 seasons in a movie. I'm on season 7.
4D
Maybe in a
podcasting.
movie. Yeah, exactly. Lindsay, you here?
Yes, I am here. I introduced myself as Daniel, but that got overpowered by your guys' ranting voices.
I can just amplify it by 50 decibels and edit.
Crap. I lost. Who deleted the bombastic word?
I was wondering the same thing.
It was not me.
I am pretty.
I don't believe you.
It wasn't. It really wasn't. Hold on,
Consciously, it was not me either.
Everyone just start pressing undo until it pops up. Oh, there it is.
Okay, I got it. No one panic. All right, bombastic word for the day. We got Wittenagamat, which is an Anglo-Saxon national council or parliament. Oodles and oodles of uses for your everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
You want to spell it
Wittenagamat.
for
It's
the
Wittenemot. And now you're ready for your next spelling bee. We're grooving. This is going smooth today. Speaking of smooth, drug tests. I don't like. Also, I'm gonna keep this the least vulgar as possible, which I don't think it'll be that bad. But if
You're going
talking
good
about
so far.
talking about if talking about urine makes you uncomfortable, skip this segment. Anyway, I don't like urine drug tests. Hair drug tests are so much better. They cut off a little of your hair, send it into the lab, boom, easy, no problem. And so to get the full experience of what I went through today for my drug test, which it wasn't that bad, but I'm gonna have to bring you back to 2 drug tests ago, where it was when I was working for CVS. I was gonna be a lab technician, so I needed to have a drug test. And so, I got the email that I needed to have it happen, and that day I was doing nothing, so I just went in, which was really dumb because I don't drink water ever because I just don't like water that much. And so I got in there, and I probably had a thimble full of water in my entire body, and so I sat in the waiting room for literally 2.5 hours drinking non-stop water. I probably drank a gallon of water, no joke. And finally the urge hit, took the test, it was fine. So next time I this was for last summer, I needed a drug test. I learned from that. So I planned ahead. I the night before I drank a bunch of water, and then that morning I really had to go to the bathroom, but I made it to the place, worked out, it was fine. And then also, just a side note, at this place I get there, and so they take you to the room, and they're like, all right, empty your pockets. And it's oh yeah, I could be hiding some pee in my pockets, sure, why not? Take your jacket off. Oh yeah, I could be hiding some pee in my jacket, why not? Take your shoes off. I guess I might have pee in my shoes. I'll take those off. And then this was the killer. It was lower your face mask and open your mouth. And it's all right, listen, lady, if I'm keeping pee in my mouth to pass this drug test, I need this job. Like, don't take this from me. Like, I obviously am in need of a form of income if I'm holding pee in my mouth. So, like, but anyway, took that drug test. It was fine. Today, the issue was our printer was out of ink, and I needed to, like, print the whatever that they needed. Because last time I went to this like place, it was for something else, but like I didn't have a paper copy. I just had it on my phone, and they made me like leave and go get a paper copy and come back. So went to the library today to print something out, but the thing is I once again drank like a gallon of water the night before, and so like several times throughout the night I woke up and I was like, man, I really need to go to the bathroom, but I cannot. And so I went to the bathroom, or no, I went to the library today, and like I basically reverted to like a child. Like I'm doing like a pee dance to like try and like just keep myself from exploding. And like each process of like sitting down and standing up is like not good. And of course, like I sit down and it's like, oh, library card won't let me log in. Get up, talk to the librarian. Oh, we do this wrong. Go back, sit down, get up, print the thing, and then I'm out. And then like get in my car and go to the place. And then I had to sit in the waiting room. But then I made it and I didn't explode, and that's my experience with drug tests.
So why did you?
I don't like them.
Why did you start the night before? I think you did this to yourself.
Well, okay. I have multiple comments on this. One, you not drinking water just a normal amount makes a lot of sense. Or you not changing your oil makes a lot more sense in the context that you also drink water. Don't drink water.
You're so right.
I just don't take care of fluids in any part of my life.
Yes. And then also, if you just like, even if you started the day before or whatever, if you just like drank a normal amount of water for the day before, the day of, you could just pee when you needed to and still have enough pee to use the drug test.
Correct. And they're not,
No,
also another
that's not how it
comment,
works.
I'm sure this might be a comment that Daniel's going to have too, but they're not expecting you to hold pee in your mouth. It's just if you're holding water in it to dilute the pee that you're doing for the drug test.
I'm pretty sure she said it was a pee check. So
Let me check your mouth for pee real fast.
Intriguing.
yeah, I think someone's
Okay.
mentioned that before, but the story's much funnier if I say they were checking for pee in my mouth.
I don't know. So, like, I see your point about the hair, like, test, but also, like, one, hair tests are a lot easier to cheat on. But two, like, if I wanted to cheat on a drug test, I would just, like, sneak in, like, a sealable container of pee and just, like, put it in my underwear or something.
No. Oh, they also did a strip search and a cavity search. I must have skipped over that part of the story.
Oh, of course.
That's surprisingly that didn't bother me. It was the shoes and the pockets emptying. I thought that was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
They did like a Harry Houdini thing where they like strip you down and like chain you to a pole, and so like you had to be sneaking a key in like your esophagus or something.
you throw up a container of pee to cheat on the test. You're like, yeah, sorry, I threw up. In there,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
I was like debating as I was driving home. I was like, man, this story, like, I don't know if I want to tell it on the podcast just because of like it's already not that great, but then like whatever comedy arises from this.
Pee
also.
comedy, classic.
I
It's
think
very underexplored.
I think I said this story when it happened a while back, but the last drug test I had to take for my current job, I just drank a little extra water in the morning. So like on the and then like when I went in the mid afternoon, I was ready to go. I was okay. Like I did do a little holding it in, but it started getting really bad. I was like, okay, it's too close to time, so I can't pee right now. And I get to the place that they told me to plug into the GPS, and it was closed, and I still have to go so bad. So I was like, oh, there's a sign on the door. I was like, oh, if you still have to do a drug test today, go to this location, which was 25 minutes away. So I'm like the entire car ride, just like pretty much like uncomfortably sitting or like unable to sit still because I had to pee so bad.
I imagined the completion to that story was it's like if you still have to do a drug test, like go to the side of the building. There's a receptacle. Like just type in your name and do your business, and then yeah. There was another part to the I forgot about this part. I had to bang whether or not I would put it in, but like final extra vulgar warning. So like during the test today, like I went in and I had to go because I had a gallon of water, and like she's like you're like shut the door. And then they give you the little cup, right? And so then like you unbuckle your pants, and it's like you're holding an appendage of or part of your body with one hand. You're holding the cup with the other hand, and then like you have nothing to hold your pants up, or like to like you have to do like the kid thing of like lowering your pants way more than you should. But like I'm like half squatting to like hold the pants, and then like I'm going, and like I had to go for a decent amount of time, and then she's like knocking on the door, and she's like, I'm about to walk in whether you're ready or not. It's like, all right, lady, I'm gonna be like holding a cup of my pee and something else with another hand, and I'm not ready, but like if you want to come in, whatever.
Intriguing.
But yeah, drug
You know,
tests
you could have just
are
like
annoying.
just pull your pants to the ground. You're the only one in. It's a single person bathroom.
Well, but that's part of the problem. She was coming in whether I was ready or not.
And that's her choice.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't want to be put on some list because can't do a drug test fast enough.
Yeah, I'm sure that qualifies you for.
By the way, for employment for We Bombastic Few, we are going to start requiring drug tests. So
And if
you
it
guys
tests
are gonna have
positive,
to-
that doesn't necessarily mean you won't get the position. But we did, just for demographic.
just so we
sake.
know,
just for
Like,
demographic sake.
yeah, we're trying to meet. You need to hire so many drug and non-drug users, So
Yeah, you gotta hit the quota.
all I'm saying is next time I'm elected or a part of the Winton-Nagamont for drug tests, I'll say hair tests are okay.
Well, wait, hold on. This kind of got glazed over in that you don't drink much water, but you don't like the taste of water. Is that what you said?
Well, like, I think I did. It's not that it's the most neutral taste, right? So it's like, why would I want it?
But it's so refreshing.
Yeah, which is like why you have it. But I would rather have juice. Like I drink a lot of juice or milk.
I don't know. Like, okay, I could see juice like hitting like a glass of water would if it's nice and cold. But I don't know. I don't think milk refreshes me in the same way water does.
But, like,
I drink milk if I like want chocolate milk or want,
But if
I put
I've
milk
had
in
like
stuff.
if you've had any form of like carb, milk is really good. I think.
I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. You don't drink water. Water's important. Speaking of preventative maintenance on your body, so I've been working an office job for
Gross.
What is it, like 9 months or something? I don't know. Anyways, but
I literally cannot believe that you've woken up on time for 9 months.
no comment.
That has not been happening, Brent. You know this.
No comment. I'm playing to all employers out there. I'm kidding. Anyways, like I've been using computers, playing video games like my whole life, and I do other stuff, but like use my hands a lot, like no problems. Work an office job for less than a year, and I have developed some kind of carpal tunnel or arthritis or tendonitis or something in my hands. And it's not like to a point of irreversibility, but it's something where it's definitely like, I spend a little bit of time at the computer. I'm like, okay, I can feel things happening in my hand that shouldn't be happening. And so I did some research. I'm like, okay, what can I do? Do I need to like see someone about this? Do I need to, whatever, find something that's like anti-inflammatory? Is there like physical therapy that I can do? And it turns out like just like doing regular stretches will help. And so I found this hand yoga video and I do it every day.
Walk us through like a very simple exercise.
So it's like a 10-minute video, and it starts off, and you like stretch your arms straight out in front of you, palms down, and
Okay.
make sure you
Check.
keep your shoulders back, so kind of like lift your chest, pinch your shoulder blades together, make sure they're like that the whole time. You like stretch your
Yep.
fingers out as much as you can. You do that for a while. You keep stretching. Then you flip your palms up and do the same thing. Then air them out. The one that usually gets me the best, it's the next thing. So you like put your palms back out face down. Then you tilt your palms up so that your palms are facing away from you, and you make sure your shoulders are still back, and then you try and push your palm, like the base of your palm, forward while still stretching your fingers apart. And you do that for a while, and then it's like, okay, now turn your hands upside down, keep your shoulders back, and then do the same thing, and then that like really gets the burn feeling in the forearm.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah. No, it's really good.
Fun.
So, as someone who is already at point of hand pain, I would recommend working this at least somewhat into your routine before the arthritis happens or whatever's happening.
For when I worked at my job over the summer, it was an office job, and they had a thing on like office yoga. Basically, it was like stretches you can do in your chair, and like initially I was like, that's kind of dumb, but then after like a month I was like, I need that file. Where was that PDF of stretches?
Yeah.
Because like my shoulder, like the big thing for me was like my shoulders and my lower back, because like I have terrible posture when like sitting in a chair.
Don't we
And it doesn't
all?
help that like because like it would be really bad because I would be at work for 8 hours or whatever, and then I would go play golf, but then I would go home, and then I would get in my chair and go like to my desk at home, and then like be on my computer at home until like I went to bed, and then I'd wake up, go to the office, be in a chair. So basically a large portion was spent in the chair, but like my most comfortable position in the chair is like with my back, like the middle of my back touching like the 90-degree point of the chair, if that makes sense. So like basically your head is like halfway between the top of the chair and the bottom of the chair. Like you're very slouched in the chair, and that's just like my default position in my chair at home.
And that's not good for your back.
Confirmed.
Huh?
Of course,
What?
my memory foam, or not my futon, which with I'm doing air quotes right now, memory foam, of course, also does not help my back. But that's fine.
I don't know. I've always slept better on couches than in beds, except for like a couple especially comfortable beds that I have slept in before.
Yeah.
But I had this recliner that I got my senior year of college. I think I may have talked about it on the podcast, how I got that. Maybe not. Doesn't matter. Pretty comfortable. But, obviously sleeping on recliners, like it's really easy to sleep in an awkward position that makes you wake up in some kind of pain. But I found a way I could situate my pillows that supported all parts of my body. And so, I don't know. I feel like you can sit in any position where you're doing stuff, as long as you... I mean, obviously you have to
Support
move
the
around
right
at some
things.
point, but like if you just keep every part of your body supported, you're good.
Yeah. I need a lot of pillows then.
You need one of those like like those crash pads or like the gymnastic mats kind of, but it's like a triangle.
Oh. Triangle. What?
It's just like an angled like an angled cushion type deal.
Oh, it's like a foam block?
Yeah, kind of. I don't know how to describe the material I'm thinking of, but yeah, basically like a foam block. It's like triangular shaped. You got one of those, and then you can slouch on it.
Interesting. Yeah, I was just picturing like a lumbar support pillow,
Yeah.
and just like, or I just buy like 100 like travel pillows and then just wrap them around my entire body. Get ones of like various sizes,
You
so
should
like
get-
they go all along the arm, all along the torso.
Dude, you know what might work is if you got a beanbag chair that was designed for like children, and that way it could like fit easier into your office chair, and then that should just like mold itself to whatever shape you're laying down in.
Or I should just get like 50 children-sized beanbags and bring them into the office, and no one will look at me strange.
You should work from a
I won't
ball
be
pit.
known as. Can you imagine bringing a ball pit in and telling your boss, it's like, I'm sorry, it's just, I swear I work better. Yeah. They just did a study on the ergonomics of ball pits, and they're actually very good. I will need maintenance to start cleaning this out, though, at day's end each night. So
You just have a sandbox in there.
that'd be pretty sick.
That would be cool, but it's coarse, it's rough, it gets everywhere.
We accidentally all brought similar topics. I forget the term that Daniel put with it, but
Preventative maintenance.
Preventative maintenance, great. So I went to the dentist this week, and it was a cavity appointment. So
Lindsay, what are you doing? You're a bad representative. The people look up to you. Do you know how many children listen to this podcast and look up to you as their mentor?
And I'm still
probably none. But if they start,
at least
then
actually no, you're probably right. According to like the little bit of demographics data we get, I think there's like one listener below the age of 18 or something, or a very small percentage of people who have ever listened to our podcast are under 18.
Well, so I went in and like the doctor, it looks at me for a few minutes before they're ready to get started and starting on me up, and they
not at your teeth, just at you, just staring at you
and
from the chair.
Multiple times he asks me, so are
you the host of We Bombastic Few? Sorry, I'll stop interrupting.
Multiple times he was like, are you currently brushing your teeth 2 times a day? I was like, yep. He's like, and like a minute goes by and he says it again, and he does this like 3 times, and I was like, so obviously that starts making me wonder what is going on that's making him think that I'm not doing it. Is it like my excessive soda drinking? Like, what's going on? And he's like, your front teeth look like you're not even hitting them pretty much along the gums, and which is it's understandable, because like I recently just got a electric toothbrush not too long ago, and since like I've been extra cautious around the gums because like how like more aggressive it is, like I did not want to hurt my gums, so I was a little more cautious with it, and I guess I got into a bad habit of just not going over them thoroughly. So like pretty much he was like, don't worry about the aggressiveness of the toothbrush, just go. And he gets out a toothbrush and does like a child's like teeth cleaning lesson, just like puts a toothbrush in my mouth and tells me like how to do it. I'm like, he's got good intentions, so I'm not gonna like be offended by this or anything like that, but it's like I know how to do it, and I've given you the reasoning as why I was being extra cautious around there. But I just stuck with it, and I just thought that was funny that I relived like 20 plus years ago.
I thought you were going to say like he pulled out the prop, that they have, and they have like an oversized, comically large toothbrush that they like show you, and it's like, this is how you brush your teeth.
No, see, I was just picturing, or this made me think of, because I remember when I was younger and I would see these memes about like, oh, you go to the dentist and they like stab you in the gums repeatedly with a saw and say, you should floss more, that's why you're bleeding. I'm like, haha, that's funny, so true, they do say that. But obviously like I didn't like really floss regularly when I was younger and that was happening. But I just thought it was a thing, like, yeah, dentists just like don't believe you when you say you floss. This is such a popular meme, I know there are people who floss, so probably this is just a strange thing dentists do. And then I got older and eventually started flossing regularly, and I stopped hearing that from dentists. And I was like, oh, so it's not a dentist thing. It's that they're actually just pointing this out to people who don't floss.
Yeah.
So it's just realizing how many people don't.
It's like a lot of people
mouth.
bleed a lot more when you aren't flossing. So that's probably why. You got that. This is a science podcast now.
Well, we'll change it up each week. Next week's geography.
Geography is everything.
Exactly. Pop quiz. Where's Africa?
According to my globe, it's right here.
Feel like I could get
All
there
right, you pass.
in several different directions eventually, except for straight north and straight
Incorrect.
south.
Wrong. You can go through the center of the Earth. That's the only way.
Ah, yes.
Intriguing.
It's the.
So,
the-
Have you guys? I'm sure you've heard of it, but are you guys familiar with Wordle?
yes.
Indeed.
So like Wordle blew up. If any listeners don't know,
Explain it briefly for
Yeah.
listeners.
it's a game and you have like 6 guesses, and there's a 5-letter word you're trying to get. So you'll put in a 5-letter word, and it'll give you a color for each of your letters. Gray if the letter's not in the word, yellow if the letter's in the word but in the wrong spot, and green if the letter's in the word and in the right spot. And so you can kind of like narrow down your options, and hopefully within 6 guesses you get the 5-letter word. It's a pretty fun game, you know. And then once you kind of get used to how it works, and you get a little strategy, and then it's like less difficult as time goes on. But whatever, it's still a good time. People still play it, I think. But a lot of spin-offs came out of it when it kind of hit the mainstream, and one of them was Wordle. And it gives you the outline of a random country or territory in the world. And
Territory?
it could be a country or a territory.
You're kidding.
No. And so you just have like the shape of the place to go off of. And so you put something in, let's just say I put in, the United States of America, and it'll tell you how many kilometers and in what direction it is from the United States. And it'll be like, oh, it's 11,000 kilometers to the east. So maybe I'll guess Egypt and see what direction it is from there. It's like, oh, it's northwest from there. And
That's fun.
It updates once a day, and it's made me realize like just how few things I know about world geography. Like there's the things I know, and then there's everything in between, which is just like, oh yeah, I just thought that was land that existed.
I feel like throwing in territory is like Canada, which is very close to the United States. Like I can name 2 territories from Canada.
Well, no, it's not
Maybe.
like Nova Scotia or something like that for territories. It's more like I don't know, the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Oh,
so like not technically its own country, but like kind of.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought I thought like states being the territory. I thought it might be like Missouri or like California or something would be like the
No,
like one of the things.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that existed or will exist, but the one I play is, just like essentially countries.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
But yeah, no, you said
Interesting.
geography, and it made me think of that.
Well, that
I understand why.
brings us perfectly back on topic for our bombastic quote, which is, "My bladder does indeed create matter."
Wow. Who said that?
Shout out to my father.
Wow. Wise.
Yes, the wisest man ever. And then
But believable.
everyone knows what comes after the bombastic quote, and that is the hypothetical. And so Brent decided one day that he does like water, and he decided that he was going to drink no more juice. And with this phenomenon, the
Unrealistic.
Capri Sun company went under, and all the Capri Sun drinkers wanted to riot because they didn't have their beloved juice. So they formed a group, and with this group they decided that they were going to attempt to recreate the Capri Sun formula, because how can you live without your Capri Suns? And when they did this,
You can't.
they got only half of the formula correct, and the other half was explosive in the sense of it changed the entire world as we know it. And this caused half of everyone's body to become stronger while the other half became weaker in return. And you cannot pick which parts of your body become stronger and which parts become weaker, or like some people might be exactly like down the middle and some people might be exactly like down the middle, like horizontally instead of vertically. So how would this change the world?
Two things. One, I'd like to know how many of our hypotheticals have started by like a formula gone awry or like some synthesis of a chemical that catastrophic side effects. Number two, so that was one thing I was going to ask in turn, like, so I'm imagining like all sorts of angles, right? As long as it's like technically half. So like you got a person standing there, you do like a diagonal slash through them. So like it starts at like their forearm and then it like goes through their midsection at an angle and then like through half their like other hand or something. And so it's like cut them at half at a diagonal. And so that like maybe like their literal like fingertips are stronger, but then like the base of their hand is weaker would be one thing. But then I was thinking, like, what if it was just like, what if you're the outside mass of you? So, like, imagine that you were to, so, like, cut a person in half, but, like, volume size, basically.
Yeah.
And so you were to take, like, basically starting at, like, let's say your heart and, like, moving, like, inwards and such that, like, the inwards of your body, like that volume is equal to the volume of the outside of your body, and like that is the cut.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like,
so, like
a perfect,
all your skin
like half and half cut
stuff.
in a specific dimension. It just like it could be staggered. Every other finger is stronger while every other finger is weaker. Like it could be like randomized too.
Oh, it doesn't even have to be like a linear
Correct.
line of a cut.
I think anyone who had a vital organ made weaker is like screwed.
Yeah. Well, especially because it depends on how we're defining weaker and stronger.
Yeah, because if you just
right?
leave it like as muscular, then like obviously the heart is on the chopping block potentially, whereas like your lungs or something.
The good news is
less.
most of your organs, you got two of them for a reason, and so you'd hope that like one of them got caught in the weaker, the other one got caught in the stronger, and just like pray for the best. But unfortunately,
leave out
wait, what do you mean?
Let's
what do
leave
you
out
mean most
organs.
organs have two of them? I mean, so we have lungs and kidneys.
well, eyes and then ears,
Okay.
and then like reproductive organs.
You have
And
two of
then-
those. Oh, never mind. Never mind.
Daniel, how many of them do you have?
I was thinking like the entire system, not the.
We can leave out vital
we're-
organs so that we don't call it. It's not the entire or human population dies.
Yeah.
Well, or we could just say it does. Like, if it's an organ, it doesn't weaken it and to a point in which you can no longer survive.
That's fair.
You're just
That's fair.
weaker.
Okay.
So
sure.
like if you have
Now we don't
a
have to talk
weaker
about
heart,
mass death.
then you
Yeah.
you can still
Well,
walk, but
like
you can't go on a jog every day if you're
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's a lot of professional So I think the world of professional sports, we're getting right in it. Like half the people are now no longer able to compete because like maybe their legs were made weaker, their heart was made weaker, their arms were made weaker, while the other half are now much better at sports.
Yeah.
Because assuming they got the right things they needed in order to be able to play the sport better.
Because like I mean I feel like a lot of sports you use a majority of your body though, right? Like even if you're just running,
Yeah.
you're still moving your arms around. Yes, you don't have to do any like intense strength anything. You don't have to lift anything, but your heart's still working, your core's still working, your lungs.
You'd
are
have to
still
be
working.
very particular with what got weaker. I think there is someone who could have gotten, but I think
I think generally
there's at least a couple people that would have gotten better.
I think
think,
generally the
probably
average
not half.
PR is or personal records are gonna be a lot lower than the average personal record is now.
agree for most things. Like I think any sport with high contact levels, or like high physicality, like football, wrestling, martial arts, whatever, like those like won't really exist anymore because, or they at least at a much smaller capacity, because without muscles you are much more prone to injury.
What was I gonna say?
We're not going to be without muscles by any means.
Well, no, but if let's say you're wrestling and someone does a good throw on you or something and you land weird and you don't have the neck muscles to protect yourself, and then now you just like are screwed.
What if,
You're
imagine
done.
how poor, like, I think this might be one of the poorest ways to do it, or have it, have fate strengthen and weaken you. But imagine someone who was, the half and half was split perfectly vertical, but from the side profile. I feel like that would be just
So like the front half of their body is
it's one.
interesting. Which way were their hands oriented? Were they, did they have like their thumbs facing forward?
Yeah,
or did
I'd
they,
say
like,
palms facing their body, like their thigh.
Okay. Cool. So they have like basically strong finger guns, but then like they're like pointer finger, or their pinky
they
and
they can snap really loud, but
they
can't
become
grip it.
Thanos.
Yeah, I was gonna
Did you guys
say.
know? Like, actually, I'm like almost certain I've talked about this, but like really early on in the podcast. But like most of your grip comes from your pinky.
Really?
Yeah,
The like strength or just ability to hold something?
I think both.
Because like holding something definitely makes sense, but
Well, like think of it, like just like make a fist right now and push your fingers into your hand as hard as you can, and like your pinky is putting out much more force than.
I wonder.
Huh.
So like it's shorter, right? And so like I haven't taken any physics that is not like at the electron level, but like doesn't that mean or mechanical engineer that like it can be stronger because it's got like a lower moment arm or something? I don't know. Just saying terms.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're trying to fling stuff off your pinky.
Which I do often.
Of course, obviously. If you're playing paper football and the index finger just isn't doing it for the field goals, you gotta switch to the pinky. But no, I always imagined it like, let's say you swing hammers a lot. When you're preventing the moment of the hammer, your pinky's gonna be putting in, the bulk of the work because it's farthest down the lever, aka handle of the hammer. So, like, anytime you're, like, holding something and moving it around, I feel like your pinky is, like, preventing motion the most out of all your fingers.
Yeah. Sure. Makes sense.
Or maybe I'm just,
Interesting.
like, confirmation biasing. But, anyways, pinky strong. I don't know how that came up. Oh, side profile. So, yeah, you can't grip stuff
And,
if you got split
if
from
you-
the side profile.
But not if you get the stronger, like, if the back half is stronger, then in theory you could grip some things. It's just you still won't have the thumb to like grab it as well as we can today.
Yeah. So,
Also, yeah, you say like the pinkies. I don't remember if you added the claws, but I feel like the thumb is the most important for gripping things. I don't know if
I
you
guess
said
for
whether or
gripping
not.
things with high control, the thumb is most important. But you could grip stuff just with 4 fingers.
I just think
If
control.
if you could wrap it around.
I think control comes a
Yeah,
lot from.
wrapping around is a big qualifier.
Like you could hold a broom without thumbs.
Sure, but you would have not a fun time using it.
I guess not. You know what? Maybe I should try that later. I'll just pull the broom out and I'll just hold my thumbs as far back as I can and I'll try going without it. I feel like your arms do the most of the work there. As long as you keep the grip, like your arms just kind of can keep a good motion Maybe I'm just imagining it though. We'll see. I'll get back to you guys.
Yeah. The homework this week is everyone pick up a broom and try and use it without your thumbs.
Next week, this is a home ec podcast.
I'm trying to think of other like professions or anything that would.
I mean, we talked about earlier in the podcast, but like posture is going to be like a lot more difficult, I'd imagine, because to any extent, you're not going to be symmetrical anymore.
Well, unless you just got lucky.
Yeah, but like still, like I guess if your back and neck did get it, like the back half, then yes, maybe, or just your spine and neck. If you get it, you have the potential of a lot better posture. But I think majority like there'll be chronic back pains and neck pains for the majority of people.
I was just gonna say, like, your spinal column is like very long, and so the odds of like all of it escaping the being weakened is very slim.
But then it'd be also very unfortunate if all of your luck went to your spine and not anywhere else. Like you'd just be sitting there for the most part. Like you wouldn't be able to like get up and move around as easily anymore.
Yeah. The more I think about it, I feel like just everyone's just kind of screwed in their own way. Like
It does limit kind of what you can do. I don't know. I feel like side profile, like split vertically, like limits you the least.
You think
potentially? Well, yeah. 'Cause, I mean, let's say you get all your back muscles.
So
that's
is the butt half or the front half?
Butt
weaker?
half.
Butt
Like either
weaker?
way. So like, let's say butt half is strong. I mean, you're still able to like walk. You know, you're still able to. You know, you got like you have your triceps.
comfortably.
You have you know, part of your whatever other stuff.
Think about like it's like the hamstrings, right? That's the front of the leg. Like,
oh yeah, you wouldn't have hamstring. You know,
like,
you have
you wouldn't be able to use
you have,
your
like,
legs
your back leg muscle
as much.
You have your calves.
Well, you have your calves, but that like you're not going to be able to like contract if you're not able to like you're not going to be able to do the whole leg being lifted up thing because that's I believe it's hamstrings, whatever's the frontmost of your leg, your thigh.
I mean, we decided you can. It's just harder.
Well, yes, but like in comparison, it's not going to be nearly as easy. It's like I don't know. I wouldn't say you're extremely fortunate if you get cut that way.
The more I think about, so like the point of muscles is that like they only contract, right? And so like you have like one muscle on one half of your body to like close it, and the one muscle on the other half to open it. And so honestly, like I feel like a symmetric cut is actually really bad, just because like that you are now like that like dichotomy of having two that work against each other. You have made one stronger and one weaker, which like.
You know, I feel like we missed an important point on grip here. And that's that if you lost, like, thumb ability, it's going to be much more annoying or harder for you to use a remote. And so a lot of people, you know, they're going to have to spend some time redesigning remotes or coming up with another solution. And, you know, I would say DVDs, but, like, those are, like... You know, if you don't have high control of your hands, those are kind of annoying to do with.
You got to put your thumb in the middle of them, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you know like especially if half of your hand is ridiculously strong, like you could crush that thing. You need something more durable, something old school. And so VHSs are going to come back.
Uses magnetic tape, maybe.
Where are people going to buy VHSs? Of course,
they're not going to buy them. They're going to rent them.
Blockbuster's coming. Oh yeah, exactly. Because we've moved beyond the age of buying things. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah, it's just too much of a pain to like get to your wallet for cash.
Yeah, so you need a subscription service, but the internet also went down because the guy who ran it, like his thumbs weren't that great. So
people only use Apple or Google Pay anymore. That's the future of half muscles.
How much do you think? All right. What if we made an end goal of this podcast to become big enough to buy the rights to Blockbuster?
No,
like, do you think the podcast could make enough money?
I think you could.
Well, no, but we want to own it.
We want the whole company.
The whole company,
dude. Honestly,
we want to do a buyout.
I feel like
an integration.
I feel like there's a huge untapped market of Blockbuster merch, and they could probably just like be fairly profitable if they just made Blockbuster merch because it'd be funny.
I will say, like, I think you're running out of time because, like, anyone, honestly, more or less younger than us, because, like, even I barely used Blockbuster. Like, we used it, like, it was around, but, like, not, like, you take a generation before us, and it's like, they didn't use it whatsoever. So,
I mean,
that, like,
I
the
went
new
to
people
Blockbuster
won't have nostalgia.
decently often. I feel like it was like in a given 2 week period, I would be there at least once.
I would say like once a
Well,
month probably for myself.
I mean, it just depends on how much you rented movies, but like the point being is that like moving at like younger than us, then like not many people
Yeah.
used it. Anyway, Blockbuster's coming back. Radio Shack 2. I don't even know. Like, does Radio Shack still exist? I assume not.
I mean, I said they were coming back because I was thinking they didn't exist, but I might just be totally wrong about that.
I don't know.
What would
They used to be around.
I don't even know.
Like, you would be able to see them pretty frequently, but I haven't seen one in a long time.
I assume they sold like Walkmans. No, I've definitely been in a Radio Shack. I just don't even remember like what their deal was. I remember the joke I totally called it in the movie Captain Marvel when she was like she went to like a police officer and she was like, I need something to communicate with people, and then they like showed up at a Radio Shack. I totally called it was going to be a Radio Shack before it happened.
Huh.
Because I'm smart like that.
Wow. Impressive. I've never
big
been
brain.
more impressed by anyone in my life.
7 head.
Thank you.
You
Thank
can just retire right
That's
now.
me.
You're like, this is your proudest moment. You're not going to ascend beyond this moment right now.
When
All right,
when you
podcast is
use
over.
your brain to like such an extent, does it like is it physically taxing on you to use that much of your brain? Like, does it get
No,
you
but it does
sweating?
use up a lot of like the world's entropy, you know?
Oh, okay.
Like, because it's just so much energy goes into my calculations of my uber mega mind. Also a good movie.
But yeah, I
Fantastic
mean, because for
movie,
me,
underrated.
if I'm really focusing or using my brain, like I sweat a lot, and then if I'm gonna go be social afterwards, I need to like use my deodorant. But afterwards, sometimes deodorant and sweat, they don't have a great mixed smell, and so I just want to get it off. But what if I still want to keep my BO? I can't shower. And that's why the sponsor of today's episode, I'm so glad they reached out to us. I've been using their products for years. Reodorant. For all your deodorant removing needs without removing any of your natural stank. And it's changed things. No longer do I have to shower to remove my deodorant and then get sweaty again to smell. How have you guys been liking your samples?
I think the greatest thing, so you've all experienced where you put on way too much cologne or like way too much deodorant, and that like there's nothing that can be done at a point because it's seeped into your clothes, and like you need something to remove that overpowering scent. And so you can just apply a little bit of reodorant and then boom, you're back at normal. It's just really helpful in a lot of different situations.
Yeah, I shop for colognes wanting to catch people's attention, and I never got the intensity of that I wanted. But with reodorant, I truly am turning heads.
Thank you for the sponsorship today, Reodorant. And now, for our final segment, segment C. And as we all
Calling
know,
it that.
C is for trivia time. Now, what we have here is a trivia website, and I'm going to pick a trivia quiz, and I guess we can decide this right now. Do we want to collaborate and try and find the right answers to this trivia? Because I don't know how difficult this is going to be. Or do we want to compete?
Well, I think the issue with competing is it would either have to be like who said it first, but I think we should collaborate just because I think it'll be hard to come up with entertaining way to compete
Okay.
live.
So we've got 7 categories. We've got general knowledge, dictionary, entertainment, history, food and drink, geography, and science and nature. Now, dictionary would obviously be too easy for us because we have a new vocab word every week.
Exactly. I will say I already did dictionary when I was doing this segment, or like figuring out if this would work. So also it's from the website called LOVATTS puzzles.com.
Loveitspuzzles.com for the
Sure.
for the average
Let's just do
Spell.
general knowledge.
general knowledge.
And then
Cover
if we
everything?
still have time, we'll do another.
All right. Oh, it's got sound effects. All right. In which country is the city of Calgary? Croatia, Israel, Canada, or France?
What was the name of the city?
Calgary, Calgary.
I'm
kind of
Okay.
I'm kind of thinking France, but I could also.
I was
go
just
for
gonna
Croatia.
say I don't know, but I'm gonna say no to France.
I'm gonna say Croatia.
I like Croatia just because it starts with a C.
Nope, not Croatia. So Israel, Canada, or France?
Honestly, Canada. Let's go C's.
Lindsay?
I think I'm gonna have to rely on old France. But
France. Oh, now France was my first choice, so I think I'm gonna start with France.
Well, yeah, we can go France.
Okay, well that was wrong. All right, so Canada.
Canada.
It was Canada.
Ha! I knew it.
From which nation does Kikkoman soy sauce originate?
Oh my goodness. We're gonna get none of these.
Are you
What's it
kidding
called?
me?
Is Japan an option?
Japan is an option. So that was like, I read the question. I was like, well, that's got to be Japan, right?
What was
But
the
But that does feel
term?
too obvious.
What was the term?
Kikkoman, Kikkoman. The
Okay.
standard
That
brand of
does
soy
seem like
That
a
sauce.
does seem
Japanese.
very Japanese.
Yeah. The other options are Afghanistan, Denmark, and Belgium, but I feel pretty good about Japan, and that's right.
That's
Okay.
good.
That felt way too much like a trick.
I heard Picklemans, and I was like, that is a
You've never had Pickleman's?
that is a
soy
place
sauce?
in the United States. Okay.
But
Next
alas, U.S. was not an option. All right. Which of these films does not star Ewan McGregor?
Ooh.
Now, I normally would say we can't rely on Brent for this because he doesn't know characters, but if he doesn't know who Ewan McGregor is, I'd be very disappointed in him.
No, I know. Obi-Wan.
All right. Children of Men,
He's not in that one.
Moulin Rouge,
I don't know.
Black Hawk Down, and Train Spotting.
No idea.
Okay. Train Spotting is the if it's the movie I'm thinking of, it's literally the worst movie ever. It's an English movie. Or like Britain. I think he is in that one just cuz I was like, holy crap, that's that guy in this movie. That is terrible. I want to say I'm nearly certain he's not in Children of Men.
All right. The only one of these I've seen is Black Hawk Down, and I haven't seen it since I was like 13. So, Lindsay, are you good to send it on Children of Men?
Yeah, I have to rely on Brent on this one.
That is correct. All right. Which
Neat.
root or word prefix means thousandth? I'm going to defer to
Mil.
Lindsay since he is the math guy.
Nil.
I'm gonna have to go with Mill.
Yeah. Micro, milli, mini, or mega. Milli is correct.
Let's go. We're so smart.
Complete
The collective
the
IQ of this
saying.
podcast is way too high.
All right, so complete the saying. The more, the what? A,
Merrier.
less for us. B, weaker. C, meaner. Or D, merrier.
Merrier.
Are you sure?
No.
I don't know what like in my head it was I don't remember what rapper said it, but like more money, more problems. Like,
I believe that is
that's the option I'm going
Notorious
with.
B.I.G.
sure.
That
Merrier.
is a song of his. Anyways, I didn't recognize the saying until Lindsay said it because I hadn't read the answer yet. I was thinking, the more, the less.
Yes.
That's my favorite saying. It's really deep when you really just get into it.
That could be a bombastic quote. Well, write that down. What city was formerly known as Christiania? Stockholm, Istanbul, Helsinki, or
Ooh.
Oslo?
I want to say Istanbul.
I was guessing that one as well.
That makes sense to
Well,
me.
but Constant? No. I don't know. Istanbul.
Yeah, I guess it,
Wow.
it would otherwise be. Yeah. No, it's not Istanbul.
Dang it. What were our other options?
Stockholm, Helsinki, or Oslo? I'm inclined to say Oslo, and I don't have anything to back that up.
And is like Christiania or something?
Yeah,
What's the-
well, these are all like in the Nordic region, right?
Sweet.
Helsinki,
Yeah, yeah.
Stockholm, and Oslo, which I don't
would
typically
not have guessed
associate
that.
with like
yeah.
Christianity.
Toss up Stockholm is my guess for no reason.
Lindsay?
I'll
Stockholm,
say
Helsinki,
Helsinki
or
for no
Oslo?
reason, just to
All
balance
right,
it out.
so we're all different. So you always guess C, and that was wrong. Dang it, Lindsay.
C let us
Stockholm.
down.
Stockholm.
Stockholm? Oh, looks like I was right.
Dang it.
Shit.
Wait,
Should have
it was
listened to
Oslo?
me. I knew it all along. I never would have guessed Istanbul. It made no sense to me whatsoever. Don't go back and listen. In which decade did Joseph Stalin die? The 1910s, the 1930s, the 1970s, or the 1950s?
Oh gosh, we should definitely know this, and I don't.
Look,
Um,
like, in my head, like, it should be the 50s, but I
That's
could
what-
also see the 70s.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be the more recent of the four, and the more recent half of the four, and I'm kind of leaning towards 50s as well, but I could also very much see 70s. So 70s second guess, 50s first guess.
I'm so unconfident. Like, I don't want to say anything for the sake of being
Well-
Oh
dumb.
my
Well,
gosh.
Joseph Stalin was the leader during
the-
World War II, so it has to be at least the 50s, because the only earlier option is the 30s.
And what's the question? When he died, or when he was
When he died.
when he died? Yeah. Well,
But
so
I
50s
can't
would
think
be,
of any,
50s
like,
would
Russian
also
leaders
line up
between
with
him
like
and,
revolution stuff. So maybe 50.
We'll try 50s. Yeah, that was right. But
Let's
I couldn't
go.
think of any leader between Joseph Stalin and Mikhail Gorbachev. So, Mowgli was raised by what in the Jungle Book?
Wolves.
Chimps, tigers, wolves, or bears?
That's a tough one. I don't know.
All right. The kookaburra is a member of which bird family? Parrot, owl, woodpecker, or kingfisher?
Definitely sounds like a parrot and not whatever the heck option D was.
Kingfisher.
I'm gonna say Kingfisher just to hopefully say that Brent's wrong.
My vote is woodpecker, but we'll start with Brent. Oh, see, this is why you stick with guess C, which is woodpecker, which was my guess, and that was wrong. Okay, so is it
Especially
an owl
since
or a
it's segment
kingfisher?
C.
It's not parrot.
No, it's not parrot. It's not woodpecker. Are you still rolling with kingfisher?
I'll go with owl.
Yep, Kingfisher
Well,
all the way.
It was kingfisher.
Let's go.
What even is that?
Brent's
It's
wrong.
a type of bird.
Kingfisher.
Which of the following languages has the most speakers?
Chinese.
Catalan,
good-looking
Finnish,
bird.
Mongolian, or Danish?
What was the first one?
Catalan, Catalan,
Sorry, what was the question?
Catalan. I don't know. Which of the following
Most
languages has
speakers.
the most speakers? Catalan, Finnish, Mongolian, or Danish? I
Mongolia is bigger.
don't think Mongolia has
Finnish.
a
I think.
huge population though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with B.
I've never heard of Catalan, so I'd be surprised if that was the answer, but maybe. But yeah, I'm thinking Finnish or Danish. Probably Finnish though.
I'd say Finnish. Second option Danish.
Finland is big. Finland's bigger than Daneland. So
Daneland. The Netherlands.
no, I'm going Danish.
All right. Well, it wasn't Finnish. It wasn't Danish.
Dang it,
Mongolian? Was wrong. It's Catalan.
Maybe
Who's
there's some
next?
big population there or something.
What What country natively speaks Catalan? What does that sound like? Never heard of this.
Official language of. Gosh darn it! Why'd you cut off Wikipedia article? Google, you're supposed to help me. Also, side note: kingfisher bird, very pretty bird. Is the co-official language of 3 autonomous communities in Spain, Catalonia, and the Valetian community. It's the official language of Andorra. Oh, you guys know Andorra. I don't know any of these places.
Andorra is one of those places where I've heard of it, and I know it's outlined because it was on Worldle one time. I have no idea where it is. I probably could have told you about where it was the day I did that Worldle, because I'd probably guessed countries all around it. But
it's like on the border of Spain. Anyway, was that all of them, or
that was the question? We got 72 points
out of 100.
Like
out of 100. Yes, it was 10 points if you got it on the first guess, and there were 10 questions.
That's a C. Which isn't terrible. Ooh, actually,
good.
I have some classes
70% very good.
Currently that like a 70s. I've had a class before where a 70 would be an A. So, on that scale, we're doing great.
Intriguing.
I mean, I had a number of classes where the professor wouldn't even like they would roughly grade on the normal scale, but they would just statistically separate it into like groupings.
Yeah. I only had I only had 2 classes or 3 classes like that. One professor. It was the same professor for all of them.
Yeah, I had one professor who did it for like all of her classes, and then I had another professor where like a lot of people got B's and C's who like didn't understand the class at all, myself included. So shout outs.
Love that. Yeah, I love the professors because like the professor I was talking about earlier also did that. It was like there was a guy who got an 8% in a class and he got a C. So
that's a toughie.
Neat. I mean, no, actually, it's not. It's sick for him, but yeah.
Yeah, no, hey, we take those.
Yeah,
we absolutely take those.
For real.
But we take those, and we've also taken enough of your time. Thank you all for listening. Did you like that? I'm so proud of that. I did. Like, comment, subscribe, follow if you feel like it. Don't if you don't. Or do if you don't. We don't mind that either. Any final thoughts?
It takes none of your time. So shout out to David and Brianna after I took their phones and rated 5 stars for us. But yeah, it takes no time to rate. Helps us out a lot. I think we only have like 4 ratings, right? Or I think maybe 5 ratings now on Apple Podcasts. And I don't know about Spotify. So if you want to get in on the ground floor and be like, I knew them win, now's your chance. Shout out to Mom. Will Smith comes to the podcast. And thank you, everyone, for listening. That's me.
Yeah. This is truly my weak point of the podcast, is having final thoughts to share. So I guess another acknowledgement of my fatal flaws is my final thought.
Yeah, tell us something. It doesn't have to be about the podcast. Just tell us something. Your final thoughts don't have to be related at all.
I'm currently using a squishy stuffed animal octopus as my mic stand.
That is fascinating.
And have been this entire episode.
I have a cow-shaped stress ball on my desk
Maybe we can fix that in post.
That I got at a mini career fair at my school freshman year.
Just placed a casino dice on top of my mic.
Wow, that's huge. Shout out to Brent's mom, Lindsay's mom, my mom. Mm-hmm. I know we said we would get to other moms. Not this time. Not this time.
Well, tell you what. Shout out to Brianna's mom.
Wow.
That took courage. You have a big heart, Brent.
It's who I am.
You went out of your way to do that. How generous.
And with that, I wish you all to have a bombastic week.